Hari Om Ananya ji, how are you? Can't hear you. Now I can.
Hari Om, I'm fine. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good.
How's the weather there?
It's becoming nice. I'm in Mumbai, so it's
Oh, you're in Mumbai.
Mumbai. So
Is it raining?
It stopped raining here. It stopped raining here, so it's warm, but it's nice. You can feel the winter थोड़ा सा यहाँ की जो भी होती है winter. और पर दिल्ली में बहुत अच्छा हो गया है. वहाँ पे कैसा है अनन्या जी? Is it nice?
It's very hot, humid. Don't ask. Very, very hot.
कभी
1
ठीक
minute.
होगा क्या वहाँ पे? Does it become better? Does it become better in like?
Yeah. Somewhat. For a very few days it's cold, but it's not too cold, and people wait for the cold, but it's as if like it touches and goes away like that.
Really? But Northeast, I guess in Guwahati maybe not, but in other places maybe. But Ananji, I think quite a lot of people have joined, so I'll hand over to you.
Okay.
Yeah, so people must be all wanting to hear from you. So Ananji, I thought that maybe today, being Navratri, and we're doing a chanting in our.
Yes.
Amongst all of our, all our yoga students, we're doing a Mahyasura Mardini Stotam chanting every day for 15 minutes online. So we just do it all together.
Aigiri Nandini,
Yeah,
that one. Okay.
that one. So it's a very nice Stotam for this time.
Yes.
For Navratri. So we began that yesterday. So it's a nice thing for everyone to come together and do online. We just do online on Zoom.
Very good.
So we thought that it would be nice to understand the meaning of these days, why we do things, what's the importance, from you, coming from you. Even sometimes I feel like I don't quite understand the deep importance of these days, because bar yahan pe there's so many religious festivals. Every day there's some Ganesh Chaturthi, and then suddenly there's Janmashtami, and then there's something else. So
yeah, I know, I can understand. Yes. So shall we start?
Let's start.
Okay. Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Shri Saraswate Namaha. Om Shri Guru Pyo Namaha. So the questions that was asked was, what is the significance of Devi Ma's worship, and about her invocation? Let me first elaborate on how many powers are there in this system, or in this world, in this society, Srishti. Now, there's one person, he can be a son, he is a father, he is also a husband, he can be a relative, he can be an employee or a boss, he can be a teacher. There are numerous titles given to a person according to the functions that he handles. But the person being the same, he is the same, he remains the same. Similarly, there is only one power When we need that power in a particular form, that power has the capacity to take any form that we are requiring at that moment. So when we require the love of a mother, when we require some power, that energy, that manifests into a form of a feminine deity, and we give it a name Devi. Now, all these powers, you call any power, like the power of creation, the power of sustenance, the power of dissolution, all of them have taken some form. Similarly, this power, she is the collective, she is a collection. She is a collection of all powers in this world. All the powers lie in her. So now these 9 days are supposed to be very powerful if we want to invoke the grace of that power, of that Devi Ma. So if we see, there are 4 Navratris in a year, not 2, there are 4. 2 are Gupta and 2 are known by everybody. Okay, so the 2 which are known by everybody, one comes in Chaitra during April, and this one is in Ashwin, and the other 2 are in Ashad and Magh. Okay, so there are 4 Navratris actually, and most popular is this one. This one is celebrated, but the other one, the Chaitra one, is also well known. So now, existence. Now, let me tell you, see, the power is inert. Anything inert needs somebody to possess it. Like a car is inert. The car has to be possessed by someone sentient. The house, it is inert. If it is left on its own, that will disintegrate and it will destroy itself. So if we want to hold that thing, that inert thing, if we want to protect that, we need somebody to hold it. Suppose we have a house and we have left that house for a long time, or we have given it on rent to somebody else. Like there are many NRIs who are staying in many places and it has already been captured by, that house has been already been captured by other people. It has been taken over by other people because he is not there, or somebody else will come inside and take away. There will be nothing inside the house left for you. So if anything inert is being possessed, if the inert thing has to be protected, it has to have somebody sentient to possess it. And similarly, this power is also inert. So we need somebody who will possess this power and say that this is my power, who will possess that power. And that's Devi Ma. We have given a particular form to her. She takes a form and she comes in front of us. But the deity is the all collective power, who possesses the power. We require power in everything. Our existence is due to power. We have power of talking, thinking, seeing, listening, everything, walking, holding. See, you are scratching, that's also a power. You're smiling, that's also a power. You're listening, it's a power. I'm speaking, it's a power. But there has to be somebody who is holding that power. Without that power, without that holder, this power won't be existing. So that's in our body, that is the Jeev who is holding that power. Without these powers, we are nothing. Actually, we don't exist. Our existence is but due to this power. Okay, so the whole Srishti, the whole cosmos is being guided by this power. See, take one small atom. The atom has got neutron, electron, proton. Those are continuously moving. From where does that electron get its negative energy from? Positive energy, where does the proton get from? Neutron, how is it neutral? It has to have somebody who's giving that power because it's rotating, it's moving. Take anything in this world, take our body. We eat the food and we sleep off nicely. But the food is digested, it is assimilated in the form of blood, flesh, etc. Various things are formed. When there's a cut on our skin anywhere, it's not that the rice or chapati or the dal is coming out. Who makes that, who transforms that food into the flesh or the bones? That's a power. We are talking, we are listening, but our breathing is continuously going on. That's a power. It's not that when we go off to sleep, our breathing will also stop. Otherwise, we won't go off to sleep. We'll be so scared of sleeping. That's a power. Okay, our heart is beating continuously. Look at our body. Our heart is continuously, since so long, it's continuously beating. It does not ask for a holiday, or it does not want to proxy, hey, mera kaam tum kuch dino ke liye kar lo. Please work for me. It won't ask for a holiday, or I'm very tired now, I want to rest for a day. Continuously it is working like that. Our body is warm. If it becomes cold, then we need 4 people to pick us up. You understand? So these are all powers, different powers that are working in our body also. Today we have got the power of thinking, our power of intelligence. How we have crossed this cosmos. We have gone to Mars now. I mean, we are wanting to go to Mars now. We have already reached moon. They have already started booking plots of land on moon. Now, if you feel that it's very congested here on the earth, you can already book a plot of land on Mars also. How is it possible? Because there's a power of thinking inside us. There's a power of imagination. How? Because we could imagine, we could see a bird flying, and we thought that, yes, we also can fly like the bird. Why not? Let's try. And then our intellect copied it, and then they made a flying machine. Similarly, it saw a fish moving in the water, and then the submarine was brought out. What is this? We can imagine things. That's a power inside us. But can you imagine, can you tell me from where does those small birds, they can build their own nest, and each bird has got a different style of making its own nest. The weaver bird or the sparrow, they have different types of nests, and each one will use different types of material and build its nest. Who taught it? Just keep thinking about all these. One small ant, if you see, those ants keep collecting food for the winter. Who has taught that ant that you have to have food for the winter? You won't get anything. One small mouse, what will it do? It will go and it will make holes and it will stay there. A snake will never make its hole. It will go eat up the mouse and stay there. It won't make a hole for itself. Who has taught that? A small calf, it will go and suckle its mother. Or human child also. Who has taught that child that to drink the milk of the mother, you have to suckle? We haven't been taught. But that power is there inside us. One small creeper, it will grow on the tree. From where does that power come? Okay, now all the different seasons, the trees and the plants, they know that which season is there for my fruits. The mango, that will ripe in summer only. It won't ripe in winter. Similarly, you'll get nice those jamun fruits in rainy season. They won't interchange. Okay. Similarly, you'll get nice flavored, very sweet guavas in winter. They know. How do they know these things? Imagine. And have you seen a pomegranate? When you open it up, such beautifully it is kept inside. One single, all those things are kept nicely as if somebody has designed it. One banana, if you peel it, the halwa is as if kept inside that thing. Somebody must have packed it for us. Just wonder how all these things are, who is managing these things? There's flood wherever, I mean, in Guwahati, 3 times there is flood because such a huge Brahmaputra is here. And so whenever it rains, and the whole city is flooded. Similarly, now we saw in Hyderabad also, in Pune also, Mumbai also. But all these rivers, they are running, they are flowing towards the ocean. But the ocean will never get overflowed, or you'll never see flood there in the ocean. How is it possible? Have you ever imagined? There's an unimaginable power that is working through everything. And the more we try to understand it, the more our mind will be aghast, because we can't fathom the power of that power. It's unimaginable. It's unthinkable. Okay, so that same power takes the form of a Devi, and she comes in front of us. She manifests in front of us to grace us, because we are her children. Like a small child will invoke his mother when it's very hungry or when it wants protection. Similarly, here also, that when we invoke her as small child, that Devi Ma will come to us. She will grace us whatever we want. If it is according as per dharma, it is righteous, then she will fulfill our wishes. Now, if we want to know what she likes, now she likes stuti a lot, praise. Each of the different deities have their specifications or likings, like we have. If we are worshipping them in form, we should know their likes and dislikes. Okay, like to befriend anybody, we have to know what the person's hobbies are, what his likes are. In a particular way, he doesn't like to talk, or he doesn't like to dress up. So similarly here also, what does Devi Ma like? She likes stuti. She likes praises, and Durga Saptashati is a praise for that Devi. Narayan Bhagwan, what does he like? Can you tell me? Narayan Bhagwan, Lord Vishnu, what does he like the most? He is Shringar Pradhan. He likes to deck up. He likes to dress up nicely. He will like to you can see here our altar. He likes Shringar a lot. Then Lord Shiva, what does he like? Lord Shiva is Abhishek Pradhan. He likes Abhishek. You pour a little bit of water on him and he'll be very satisfied. Only Ganesh Bhagwan, what does he like? He likes to eat a lot, a nice food. Yes, modak and all. Similarly, Devi Ma, what does she like? She likes praises, stuti. Okay, and what else? She likes red color, red kumkum, red colored dress, red colored sari, red flowers, hibiscus flowers. Why red? Because red is the color that represents Rajas. There are 3 gunas, Rajas, Sattva and Tamas. So in order to finish the tamas in us, tamasic gunas in us, we need terrible rajas. And that's the form that she takes to finish, to destroy the tamas that is lying in us. The various kinds of emotions that pull us down, that doesn't let us go forward to evolve. So she is the one who takes that form to destroy all these negatives in us. So we need her in such a time. Okay, now we'll take 3 points. If time permits, let me see. Ya Devi Sarva Bhuteshu Vishnu Mayeti Samsthita Vishnu Mayeti Shabdita Namastasya 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 Namo Nama. She's called Maya. Okay, she's also, there are so many innumerable names that has been given. So she's also called Maya, Vishnu Maya. Maya means what now? Let's try to elaborate on this point. Maya is Bhagwan's unfathomable power. She can create anything from anywhere, from nothing. And in no time, that's more dangerous. Incomprehensible Shakti, incomprehensible power. You know, I'll tell you one story. Once Narad wanted to see, this power has been shown to some people, some devotees, like I'll name some. Narad Muni was shown this power. Then Markandeji was shown this power. Kak Bhushundi was shown this power. And they really, they felt, oh my God, I just want to come out of this. And they prayed to Lord that please take away your Maya. So here once what happened, Naraji and Vishnu, Nara and Bhagwan, they were going on a stroll. And then suddenly Naraji says that, Bhagwan, Prabhu, I want to see the power of your Maya. Can you please show me? Nara and Bhagwan said, are you sure you want to see the power? Are you sure? Because unnecessarily, I don't want to trouble you. Unnecessarily, why you want to get into any trouble? So no, please, I want to see your Maya. So please. Okay, she said, okay, I'm feeling very thirsty. Please go and bring some water for me. Have I shared this story with you all? No, no? Okay, fine. Then it's fine. Because I don't remember, so many talks are going on. Then he said, get me some water. One glass of water. Okay, he said. So he started walking off the other direction. When he started walking, he saw that a procession is coming from the other direction. So he was very inquisitive. So he stood by the side of the road. Suddenly there were all elephants also, and there was such a lot of people, and that elephant in his trunk was carrying a big garland. Suddenly that elephant stopped near Naradji and garlanded Naradji with that mala. And everybody started shouting, Jai Ho, Maharaj ki Jai Ho, Maharaj ki Jai Ho. He didn't get what is going on. So he said, pardon me, I didn't understand what's happening. I'm not your Maharaja. So no, now you have become our Raja, our king. So long live our king, long live. They were shouting and going. They said, but how is this possible? He said, no, this is our elephant, and whoever he garlands, we don't have our king right now. So whoever he garlands first, he will become our king, and he has to marry the princess there. And today only the wedlock will happen, and he will be our king, and we will be his subjects, and he will have to stay with us. Said, no, this is not possible. No, you have to come with us. He was taken forcefully, and he got married to that princess. Her name was Naradi. So they both got married. They were staying there nicely, and he became the king. And he started, and he had many children also, everything. And suddenly, after many years, I'm cutting the story short. After many years, this Naradi happened to die. She expired. Now, after she expired, now there was a pratha, like in India, there was Sati Pratha, remember? So similarly, here in that kingdom, there was Sata Pratha. I mean, the husband has to go on the funeral pyre along with the wife. He said, no, nothing doing. I'm not going to die with that wife. So, acha, now you're saying you're not going to die. Earlier, when we made you the king, you enjoyed. When it was time for marriage, you enjoyed. You enjoyed our kingdom, everything. Now, this pratha also you have to accept. It's not possible. And they forcefully took him, and they tried to burn him. And then he started shouting, Prabhu. Now he remembered Prabhu. Prabhu, please, please protect me, save me from this. I don't want to die. And he was shouting, screaming. And suddenly he felt that somebody is tapping on his shoulder. He opened his eyes and there was nothing. There was nothing. And Bhagwan Narayan was smiling in front of him. He said, Narad, what happened? You went to fetch water for me? Where's my water? He said, Bhagwan, that kingdom, that elephant, that Naradi, I was being burned. Where is it? Bhagwan just smiled. Everything, all those things, it was a whole lifespan, and it was only 2 minutes when he had gone. This is his Maya. That is Achintya Shakti of Bhagwan. So this Shakti, this power is with all the three deities. Their consorts, the Lakshmi, Parvati and Saraswati are the three consorts, of the three deities, Vishnu, Mahesh and Brahmaji. These are all Maya. This is Shakti. Without the Shakti, they can't do anything. So Bhagwan has showed many times, many devotees, but it's really painful. But if we want to know more about this Maya, it's not possible, because we can't understand her through her actions, because that's also Maya. We will try to understand through our mind. Mind is also Maya. So through Maya, we can't understand Maya. It's impossible. If we want to understand Maya, look at your mind. The working that our mind is, the functions that are how mind functions, that is under Maya. It comes under Maya. So whenever we are troubled by our mind, you should assume that Maya is troubling us. It's an unfathomable Shakti. See, when Vasudevji, not Vasudev, Vasudevji, when he was, Vasudevji is father of Vasudev. Lord Krishna's father. So in the end, at Dwarka, when they were staying, so in the last moments, Naradji came once to see him. So he said, Narad, I want Gyan, I want moksha, I want liberation. So he started laughing. What? You are the father of this world. आप बाप हो, भगवान के भी आप बाप हो, like that. So how? I didn't understand. Why don't you go to Lord himself and ask him for moksha, for liberation? And why are you asking that? Last birth, when as what was the name? Vrishni and Sutapa. As Vrishni and Sutapa, when you propitiated Lord, and when you got this boon that you want Bhagwan to come as their son. Why did you ask? He said, I got deluded by that Maya. I got deluded. I have seen it is such a terrible pain to get a life, and even to become the father of Bhagwan is not easy. Imagine six children, six kids, newborns being smashed on the wall in front of you. Your wife, newlywed wife, she is being harassed by cunts, pulling the hair and wanting to kill her, and he could do nothing. Newborn baby, Bhagwan has come. Bhagwan had showed his form also, and he had to go and leave him at another Gokul in Gokul, in another village, under somebody else's guidance and protection, guardian. So all these things are not easy. So much torture they underwent. And now he felt that no, the Maya had really deluded me, and I don't want another birth now. So this Maya is very, very difficult to cross. And Bhagwan's Maya, can you just assume where that Maya resides in Bhagwan? Think and tell me, where does Bhagwan's Maya reside in him? Bhagwan's one name is also Mohan. Mohan means one who deludes. He attracts through what? Attracts through his smile. And that Maya resides in his smile. So that Maya resides also in your smile. So don't smile too much looking at somebody. You're also pretty, and you can easily delude anybody, because that Maya is there in the smile also. It's sitting there. Okay, so Gita says, Mama Maya Duratteya. You can't fathom the power of this Maya. Achintya Shakti. In moments, it can create and from nothing. And it can destroy, or it can show otherwise. And we won't understand what's going on. So it's better we hold on to Lord's hand rather than go on to find out what's Maya. Because this is Achintya Shakti, Achintya power, unfathomable, unimaginable power of the Lord. Okay, so this is in the form of Devi Ma only again. Like a magician, what does a magician do? He tricks our vision. Similarly, we feel, but he's so fast. Actually, we feel that there's some accident. What's an accident? Tell me. What's an accident? We feel that accident is something very careless. I was careless, I slipped and I broke my leg. But that is not the case here. One person is going from this lane, the other person exactly has to come on that time only from the other lane to collide. Isn't it? Otherwise, how will the accident happen? So if there is a fruit to be given of an accident to some person, there has to be precise precision in everything. Every second, it has to be in seconds. Don't you feel? So accident is for us. But from that Maya's view, what is accident? Accidents are most perfect coincidence of Maya. Don't you feel? I'll give you one example. What happened? This happened in reality. One bike rider, he had one pillion driver also. He was also sitting behind. They were going. So they were going somewhere, and suddenly they crossed a railway line. Railway, what do you call that? Gate, railway gate. So the gate was closed, so they had to stop there. Now what happened? When they were standing there, suddenly one eagle came on top with a snake in its beak. Okay, and somehow the snake slipped from its beak and it fell on the person who was driving the bike. And suddenly it bit him, but it again sneaked out somewhere in the wilderness. And the pillion driver, he was fine, but this who was driving it, he died. He expired on the spot because that was a very poisonous snake. And again, that eagle spotted that snake. It caught that snake again, and it went and ate it away. See how it happened? That scooter driver had to expire there on that spot where that railway gate was there. And how was his, see, all our mrityus are written. How our death will come is already fixed. The day we are born, the death is also fixed. Time, date, space, place, exact time, everything, way, how it will be, how it will come to us, it's fixed. So he had a death through snake bite. How it came? Can you imagine? This is the precision of Maya. For any accident to happen, there has to be precise. It has to be perfect. Otherwise, accident won't happen. For us, it's a coincidence. For us, it's something incorrect. But that fruit had to be given to that fellow. And because of that fruit to be given, there had to be some power who knows everything and who can manage, coordinate and manage everything. And we can't imagine all those things. Okay. So this was the Maya Shaktis. Once what happened online, one girl and one boy were befriending each other online. So the girl was pretty. So the boy asked, how do you manage to be so beautiful? You're so pretty. How do you look so beautiful? So she said, I do it with Photoshop. That's Maya. Photoshop. So in this way, we complete this Ya Devi Sarva Bhuteshu Vishnu Maiti Shabdita. So whenever next time you feel troubled, you feel that I'm not able to understand, just invoke that power of Devi Ma. So please remove this Maya from before my eyes. Clear my vision. I can't understand. It's all in her power. So if we invoke her, yes, surely she will help. Next one is Ya Devi Sarva Bhuteshu Buddhi Rupena Samstita Namastasya 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 Namo Nama. She is also there in the form of her intellect. I've taken only 2-3 points. So because we can elaborate it and elaborate it, the more we think, we'll get pearls inside. The problem is we don't go deep. Buddhi, what does buddhi mean? Intellect, what does it mean? Intellect means the power to discriminate between right and wrong. What is right? What is wrong? Even the animals have that. What's great about it? Even the animals know who hates me, who loves me. Even the animals know what is to be eaten, what is poisonous for me. Even the animals know that who is my friend and enemy. They also know. Even the plants, they also can discriminate between the light and the darkness. They also know where the water will be there. But this buddhi, what has been talking about, is to discriminate between dharma and adharma, what is right or wrong, what is true and what is false. Okay, so this buddhi has to be developed in us, and that buddhi that can be given by Devi Ma herself. Okay, there's one joke. One student, there was a class going on, online class, and the teacher said that kids, all small kiddies were there. So kids, tomorrow we are going to have a class on Mars. Okay, so you all, this is compulsory. Tomorrow's session is compulsory, and you have to come. One kiddie said, "Ma'am, I can't come. Miss, I can't come." Because why? No, because my mother won't allow me to go so long. Okay? So that's not the buddhi. Buddhi means that what is right or what is wrong, we can decipher. Okay, like Sati ji, she could not make out. These are examples from Ramayana. So Sati ji saw Bhagwan Ram weeping for Mother Sita. And she thought that, how can this be Satchidananda Brahma? This cannot be God who's crying for a woman. But she didn't understand that it was a Leela only. Kaikeyi got deluded by Manthara. You all must be knowing all these stories. I'm not going into depth. So this is what Maya, this is what this power can do. If it puts a curtain on our buddhi, we won't be able to take decisions, proper decisions. And every moment needs that we are alert, we are agile to take any decision of the moment. Every moment needs our presence there and that time. Okay, so it's very difficult. Like a mother, we can take an example of mother is not well. A mother is emotionally also not feeling well, emotionally also. But her child is there. She sees the child and she sees the requirements of the child. She has to leave everything at that time and attend to that child. She can't just hold on to her cribbings. She can't hold on to her emotional insecurities at that time. This she has to discriminate at that time. This, who will tell her what is right or wrong? This buddhi we need every time. Even in outside world also, wherever we are working or we are working for some association or in an office, wherever, everywhere this moment to moment discrimination is required. And that's called maturity. What's maturity? This is the same thing. And another thing is, here everything has been locked. Every good thing is locked. Okay, how? The air is everywhere. The air is everywhere. But the gas, I mean the LPG gas, that has been locked inside the earth. The pebbles, the rocks are everywhere. But the metals, the jewels, the diamonds, everything has been locked inside. Okay, the Upanishads, the Gita, the Ramayana, Bhagavad, etc., Puran, all these are locked. And we need the keys. Who has the keys? The keys are with Devi Ma. We won't be able to understand. See, if you take an example from the Upanishad, tadejati, tadnejati, tadure, tadvantike, tadantarasya sarvasya, tadu sarvasyasya bhahyata. It says it's outside, it's inside. It goes, it doesn't go. It moves, it doesn't move. What is this? You won't be able to understand. Why? Because the keys are with her. We have to invoke her grace to understand what's being said about it. From the Gita also, in one portion, Bhagwan will say, Sarva dharman parityaje mamekam sharanam braja. Leave everything and come to me. I'll take care. But on the other hand, he will say, Karmanyadvadikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana. Only in the karma, only in the actions you have got your right to do. But Bhagwan, you are saying that leave everything. Everything has been locked and kept. For that, we need to invoke Devi Ma's grace to understand each and everything. All the precious things are locked and kept. It's under lock and key. Okay, so we need power everywhere. You know, Dhruvaji, when he got darshan of Bhagwan and he was returning, actually, initially only Naradji had warned him. Naradji was his guru. So Naradji had warned him that, why are you getting angry? Just for a few moments, just take out your anger. Don't have this thought of revenge in your mind. He said, no, I am Kshatriya and I can't leave this. I can't leave this insult, the thought of insult. It is burning me and I can't. And ultimately what happened, when he came back, he realized that he went to Bhagwan, he got his darshan, but instead of getting a very good, very big thing, he got a small Dhruva lok that will be there for some time, and again after the pralay it will be gone. He felt so guilty about it, that I could have asked for bhakti, I could have asked for liberation. But what did I ask? Because his mind, because his buddhi was deluded. So if we are going to a very big king and we are asking him for some chana, it's like that. We should know where to ask, what prayers to be done. What to ask also is an art. We don't know that also. Who will give that? That buddhi gives us, and that buddhi will be given to us by Devi Ma only. Do we have some time, or shall I finish it off? It's already 5.
Yeah, we have about 3 minutes.
Huh?
We have about 3 minutes.
I have about 3 minutes, so let's stop here then, because I had one more topic. But okay. If you want to ask any question, you can ask. Otherwise, I'll continue. Whatever.
No, please continue. I'd love to know your last topic. I'm sure everyone would.
So another point is, Ya Devi Sarva Bhuteshu Kshanti Rupena Samsita. Kshanti Rupena. Kshanti means forgiveness. See, who can forgive? Whose heart does not have differentiation. Bhed buddhi is not there. He is not mine. He is mine. The bigger the heart is, the more will be our forgiveness. How many people can you include in your heart? How many people can you include in your family? That big your heart is. So if we increase the circumference of our family, then naturally, automatically, the karuna, the forgiveness comes in our heart. Because we have taken somebody to be my own, then naturally that feeling of karuna comes. Without that karuna, without that compassion, we won't be able to forgive anybody. Like a mother, again I'm taking because she is a mother herself, Devi Ma. And so I'm taking the example of mother because she tolerates so much. Prithvi, the earth, is a reflection of that Devi Ma only. So much she tolerates. I hope we all, in the morning, we touch the floor before getting down and we do pranams, prostrate her. And what's that shlok? Samudravasane Devi Parvatastana Vishnu Patni Namastubhyam Padasparsham Kshamasvame. We should every day chant this. Because in this shloka, it is said that because I'm touching you with my feet, I ask for forgiveness. But we do so many other things to her, like, apart from only touching by her feet. That is nothing in front of that. We are polluting her, we are digging her out, we are finishing off the mountains, we are cutting off the forests. We are actually exploiting her. But still, sometimes in between, she just shakes and tries to give us a glimpse of her existence. Here in Guwahati, there's a lot of earthquakes. Last week only the two happened. And I'm not at all used to it. But suddenly I touch her and say, Ma, please don't shake so much. I'm also shaking. So she is the abode of forgiveness, Shanti. A child will kick the mom. The child has got a very strong grip. That child will just pull the hair. Mother doesn't feel bad. Why? Because she feels there's nobody else other than me who will help this child to grow. If anything that child needs, that child will come to me only. So this is the one. See, Devki and Vasudevji, when their children were killed after eighth, when Yog Maya ji left. At that time, because Kansa had darshan of Yog Maya, little bit of his buddhi changed. And he sought for forgiveness from Devki ji. And he said, Behan, I did a lot of bad things to you. Please forgive me. And he started giving advice of Vedant, that this body is nothing, that it has got Atma, Atma comes and goes, the Sharir does not, Sharir dies, but the Atma does not die, etc., etc. That's called Asuri Vedant. That does not apply to us, but others. This is called Asuri Vedant. So when he said all this, Devki Ma, forgive. Can you imagine killing 6 children in front of my eyes, putting inside the jail, staying there in the jail, and still she is able to forgive? That's why she could become the mother of the Lord, because of this large-heartedness. Vasudev ji also forgave. Okay, so this is the quality of Devi Ma. See, there are 3 qualities: Srijanatma, that means the power of creation, then sustenance, power of sustenance, and power of destruction. All these 3 we require in our personality. How do we require it? See, we need to create our Srijanatmak, means to create our new personality. How will we create it? Through satsang, through puja, through upasana, through service. So we have to do something. Okay, so this is through doing something. So this is the second portion. I mean, maintaining, sustaining. And how? By destroying the negatives in us. Already if our cupboard is full of old clothes, where will you keep the new ones? So you have to empty it first. These are the problems we all face. You have to empty it, and then again we can bring new clothes and put it back. So unless we destroy the negatives in us, we can't make our personality. The wrong notions are there that trouble us. So all these things we have to invoke that Devi Ma in our personality, so that she graces us for a better future, so that we evolve and don't devolve. Okay, we need to evolve in life. We have to go to better standards of mind, not standard of life, standard of mind. Outside things will keep coming. It will keep coming. It will be, that will go also, come also. That's according to our prarabdha, fruit of actions. It will keep coming. But what is the purpose of this life? We have to make our mind more beautiful. The purpose of life is only to change our mind, to make it more beautiful, so that we can serve our Lord in a better way, to serve the mankind in a better way. For that, we have to make our personality more beautiful, more sober, more surrendered. Okay, so here I finish my talk, and thank you all for this opportunity. And use this 9 days, 2 days have already passed. So use these days, beautiful days, divine days, to invoke the grace of Devi Ma as much as possible. Anything that you know, any stuti that you know, you can chant in front of her and ask her. And we have done so many wrongs also. We don't know about it also. We walk and we have killed so many insects. We inhale and we have killed so many insects. For our small tongue, we have killed so many animals. Okay, so for that we need to ask for forgiveness from Devi Ma, because this whole Srishti is part of her body. The cosmos is part of her body, and when we are with her, so we can ask for forgiveness. She has come down to us to spend these 9 days with us. So I my best wishes to all of you for this Navratri festival, and thank you so much for being present in this session. Hari Om.
Hari Om. Thank you, Anij.
Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Thank you.
Thank you, Anij. As always, beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you. See you next time. Okay. Hari Om.